Okay, Coach, maybe a few words for you on how the team went about the bye week last week and over the weekend, and what you're looking forward to the Stanford matchup.
Yeah, it was certainly a much-needed bye week. We got a couple days of practice in, work on some fundamentals, get a little bit of a head start on Stanford. Had a couple extra days for guys to get healthy, which we needed. And then for the coaches, we also spent a couple days recruiting. So I think it came at a great time, certainly for us. It was certain guys being injured. The bye week came at a good time to get some of those guys back. And guys, I think were refreshed. Last night was we had a good meeting, good walkthrough session, and be ready to play Saturday night.
Rich, obviously you changed over your defensive staff to kind of inject a little bit of a different look into your recruiting, but what other, I guess, if any, key philosophies or evaluations did you guys change in that whole aspect?
You know, not as much philosophically as and scheme-wise as what your base defense is a little bit different, which whenever your coordinator, he's got to be comfortable with his base defense. But some of the things we're doing defensively, scheme-wise, were similar. But we needed to certainly, up our recruiting defensively a little bit. I like the attitude. There's been moments we've played pretty good defense. We haven't gotten a lot of turnovers, which is an issue, and we haven't done really well on third down. But it's not for lack of effort. And as coaches, we're trying to put everything together we can to make us more productive and stop some of these good teams on our schedule.
Coach, regarding turnovers, it seems like you guys have been down about like half of what it was last year. What do you think has been the difference mainly?
I don't know. We're as a staff, that's part of our job to try to figure out. Some of it is just, I think I always remind the guys to play aggressively, and some of that, when you play aggressively, you'll create some turnovers. Some of it is luck. But we've emphasized it so much in practice from a standpoint of getting your hands on the ball from the beginning of camp that it has been a little disappointing in the last few weeks that we haven't gotten any. And we're not good enough probably to win games without getting turnovers. So that's it's been a point of contention for us as coaches, and it's our job as a staff to try to figure out ways how we can get our guys in a position to make some plays. And when we get our hands on it, we got to either pick off the pass or create a fumble.
When you have a week off like this, do you kind of assess any personnel changes, or are you guys pretty happy where you are right now?
No, I think we assess everything, but it's kind of ongoing. I think sometimes the assessment has to come because of injuries, and sometimes it comes because of performance. But that's part of our job as coaches. We've got to assess everything. What are we doing? I don't think you can change like wholesale. We're going to change offense or change defense and change all 11 people on all three phases, but I think you got to look at everything you're doing, what you are executing, what you're not executing, and it seems like it's a long time, a week to do that, but you really don't have a full week because you're on the road recruiting. But it gives you some time to at least look at what guys are doing and what you're doing well, and then attack that going forward. Now, you play a team like Stanford, who's a little different scheme-wise offensively than what you've seen, so that plays in a factor what you're going to do defensively as well.
How much back, looking back, was Christian McCaffrey on your radar in recruiting? Was he?
I think everybody in the country wanted him. I don't remember when he committed, but I remember watching his high school highlight film, which is what you'd expect. I mean, he's phenomenal player, did everything, and has done that in college. And certainly it's probably hurt them, even though they're pretty talented with their backups. He's one of the best players in the country.
Injuries this year, McCaffrey, but what else are you seeing as maybe a reason that we don't see the gaudy numbers from him so far this year?
I think biggest reason is because he's been injured. He hadn't played as much he maybe wasn't 100%. I don't know in the last game, but that's a pretty good defense he played against. But I think the expectations are probably so high for the numbers that it's almost unrealistic for anybody to reach that height. But I didn't, watching him play and in some of the games this year, he's the same guy when he's healthy. I mean, just explosive, and you got to know where he is because a large part of their offense and certainly their special teams, when he's in the game, goes through him.
You seem to have kind of gone all the way with Samaji at running back here. What are your expectations for him?
Yeah, it's just, we had experimented a little bit there a few weeks ago, but with Nick being injured again, he's been almost exclusively at running back. He knows wide out. He's a veteran, so he could play there at any time. But we felt we had to take a week and a half and give him a lot of reps there. He's a competitive guy. He's fast. He's tough. And with everything going on there, at least he gives us an experienced player there that we needed that. So he's been playing running back. Tyrell's been a little bit banged up. Johnson. We still have Zach Green, and we even moved Matt Marin, who's kind of the jack of all trades. He's been playing some running back too. So it's been an interesting situation for Coach McGee there.
What young guys stood out in last week's workouts? Anybody that kind of caught your eye?
We had about a 15, 20-minute, probably at least 20-minute scrimmage with the young guys. I really like them. I don't know if anybody like stood out and say, hey, we got to move this guy to the ones or twos right away. But the speed and the skill level of the young guys is what we hope it would be. There's several of them that need to get in the weight room and have a great off-season program and learn what we're doing. But there's a lot of good young players in that class. And as I've said before, the positive thing is that those guys have been truly committed. The attitude on the team's been good. We think recruiting's going fantastic, so we'll be all right.
You have Matt listed as a running back / fullback. Does that mean that he's playing two positions or learning two positions?
Well, he's not with the quarterback situation getting healthier. He's not taking reps at quarterback like he was, but he's still playing tight end, fullback, and tailback, and I think he's excited about it. He's a big physical guy, and he loves football, so we're trying to make sure we got every position covered.
How much can you say about what you liked about what you saw from Anu last week and what he did?
Well, at least he was able to do, again, the practices were a little bit limited, but he was able to take team reps. It's not just individual. He was able to take some reps in team and throw and plant off his foot and run around a little bit, and that's been the key, be able to run the whole offense and not just things in the pocket and not just passes.
How much is who's going to start a quarterback this week determined based on health, and how much of it is it based on who you see higher in the depth chart and able to win with right?
It's a little bit of both, really, and not only the health is the main part of it, but what kind of plays we plan on opening up with and what we're going to do throughout the game. So a lot of it dictates. And again, I've said this many times. We, even though a lot of people have different ways of how they handle quarterbacks, we kind of treat it like another, any other position. We'll change quarterbacks based on particular type of plays we want to run, and we rotate them in and practice that way, so it's something they're accustomed to.
Did Anu ever come to you and campaign back for that kind of?
I don't know. He's not like that, and Brandon's not like that. So, and I don't know too many quarterbacks who would. Most of the time, you got to, if you do a good job of communicating throughout the week, which Coach Smith always does, and then, they understand the reps because we roll, guys in with the ones, not just at quarterback, but at other positions. So it's not like, some people, they name a guy and he takes all the reps with the ones, and then the other guy takes all the reps with the twos. Our ones and twos have the same number of reps, but we'll rotate different guys in with the ones by series.
Do you feel any healthier coming out of the bye week than when you went into it?
Yeah, a little bit. At the quarterback position, we're healthier. We get a guy or two back on defense, I think, but we had a couple injuries in the last game that are still lingering. So, but the bye definitely helped. We would have had a whole bunch out if we had played this past Saturday.
Is Nick's absence from the depth chart indicative of a long-term?
Yeah, longer than we want. So he won't be. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But he's definitely out for an extended period of time.
How much of their struggles is, Stanford struggles is, new quarterback? Are you seeing other things there?
No, I think, they've played some pretty good teams. I think they've just missed a few big plays here and there. McCaffrey being out certainly didn't help. But it's the same big physical front. Their quarterbacks are still talented. They're really fast at wide out. So, I think they're close. And they've played, some really close games, as we all have a little bit. But they've played lost some really tough, close games this year.
Obviously, you have your situation, but what do you think? You and Oregon were 2 years ago were in the Pac-12 championship game, and now you two have combined for 8 straight losses. What do you think that says to the nature of either college football or this conference?
Well, I think it speaks to the conference a little bit. I'm not here to speak about Oregon or anybody else. We talk about us. We know what happened with us and some of the struggles that we've had, and we're working to overcome it. College football now is pretty competitive. And you want to get to the point where you don't have these little dips in the road, but, the season's just half over. That's not all panic. I'm not panicking. Program's okay.
Do you think it's harder to attain success these days or maintain success?
I've been asked that quite a bit over the years, and head coach so long. It's okay. Is it harder to stay up there? I think it's both. It's not to answer your question. It's hard to get there when you're really down because you got to recruit. But if you recruit well and stay healthy, you can stay up there. But those folks that you're competing against, they're working hard too. And sometimes it takes, like Colorado, it takes a few years. And now you see what an experienced, talented, well-coached team does. They have success. And I'm confident that the first half of this season is just a little bump in the road, and some things were out of our control, some things we can't control, and we can fix all the issues that we have. So that's a good thing.
So Freddie not playing last week and being number 2, is that indicative of a health situation?
Yeah, more so than anything else. Yeah, he hasn't really been healthy for several weeks now. So he's better now, but I don't think he's 100% yet.
You switched the kickoff duties to Josh Pollock this last week. Was that just to try to improve?
Yeah, some different kicks. I mean, they're both kind of have different kicks that they're better at, and we wanted to kick away and do some different kicks. So they're both doing it. I think Edgar probably has a little stronger leg from a kickoff standpoint. Josh is probably a little more accurate in different placements. So we're going to work with both of them this week.
How do you feel like Josh has done overall in his
He's been pretty solid, first year kicking and punting. There have been some punts that we want to get, a better direction at, and his field goals have been pretty solid for the most part. I think he's performed pretty well. We're still, you want every kickoff to go out of the end zone, and that's always an issue if you can't. But our special has been okay, but our special teams, we've worked really hard on it. And part of the issue has been the revolving door because of injuries or moving guys around. We haven't had a consistent performance in our return units, certainly, but that's not for lack of effort.
Is the game plan with someone like McCaffrey similar to what it was with Adoree Jackson, where you just don't want to give him a chance?
Yeah, you don't. If you give him, if you're going to kick it to him, you better be able to kick it with a lot of height or have the ability to have guys around him. If you kick him guys like McCaffrey and Adoree and those guys, if they get the ball with space, on any special team, or really for anywhere, with a lot of space to run, you can have talented guys, but they're going to be making you miss and creating big plays. So you have to be aware where you're at, and you got to be really good with your placement of your kicks.
You guys were out on the recruiting trail last week. How do you feel about the way that the new defensive philosophy is resonating with the kids and with the coaches out there?
I think good. I don't know if the players look at schemes as much as they look at personality and particularly the area coach. We have 2 different ways to recruit, whether it's an area coach that's got that particular area or a position coach. We're getting position coaches involved with their position recruiting even more so, and that part has been overwhelmingly positive. I think the guys really like the personality of all of our coaches, but defensively there's new guys, and I think they've resonated well with recruits, their personality, and it's been very helpful in recruiting, I think.
Besides getting healthier, what else do you think the team accomplished over the bye week? Some of the players were talking about, looking at your own schemes or kind of almost reinstalling stuff.
Yeah, I think part of the, again, defensively, it's all first year stuff. So I don't think we're putting a whole lot of different looks defensively, but offensively, with the nature of the quarterback situation, if the experienced guys are back, then you can put more of your offense in. So that's basically, we were really scaled back when we were playing the young guy, and when you play the older guys, you can put more in and more things that we had done earlier in the season. So from that standpoint, we did. But we only practiced a few days, so it wasn't like an overwhelming thing. But I think our guys saw that last week a little bit, but even more so they'll see tomorrow and Wednesday when we practice that we have more of the offense, I guess, so to speak, in for this game.
Rich, I know you know Bruce pretty well. Did you watch any of that Cardinals game? And what do you
I did.
think?
I saw the end of it. I mean, it's like I was like everybody else. Like, are you kidding me? And it doesn't happen that way because those guys are, the pros. I mean, they you don't see them miss those easy field goals. And I know the kid from Arizona is really good. He just missed it by that much. And it's every game in that league. It seems like it goes down to the last few minutes anyway. So the Cardinals are going to be okay. They're well coached, talented. They'll be in the playoffs.
What do you think about having a tie? Did you like that? Should they play like college? Do you want to change that? Would you think?
I personally like our overtime. I don't know. It could drag on, I guess. I think that's the issue. You have, some fourth, but by happen to go for two after third overtime, I think we have the best, even though we lost one already this year. I've been in a few overtime games. I think we have the best overtime situation. And when you battle like that, you want to have somebody come out with a winner, I'm sure, on either side. So I kind of like our model and the way we decide games as opposed to the NFL's.
How much time or how much emphasis do you place on the big picture, or think about the big picture of the program versus just let's win the next game? Do you talk about, like,
Well, I
guys,
do.
we need to do this to get into a bowl, or is it just let's
No,
just-
I don't, not so much of that. I mean, my job is I have to always look at big picture. I'm talking about from a recruiting standpoint, development standpoint, and making sure our young guys are doing the right thing and academics and all that. So we all do a little bit of big picture stuff. I do more of it, but outside of that, it's not even, week to week, it's day to day. And it sounds like coach speak, but we really talk about our guys' commitment daily to being a better player and being, making themselves better in our program. And as coaches, we got to focus on that same thing because the season, even though it seems like it drags on when you lose, it goes by pretty quick, and you don't want to miss opportunities.
Parker Zellers came back last week, played with a knee brace on, was questionable going into the game. What does it say about his character or determination that he was able to do that, and is that something that you can kind of use as an example?
He did. I've used him as an example quite a bit because he's a former walk-on that plays with a chip on his shoulder, and then even after he got a scholarship, and still to this day, he still plays with that chip. And certainly he, it doesn't come back until he's ready, but he worked his tail off to come back and plays hard. He's active, and this is going to be a big challenge. He's not the biggest guy going against some big guys this weekend, but love the way Parker Zellers approaches the game, and I think everybody sees how much heart he plays with, so that's a pretty good example.
Rich, why do you think we've seen, Barton's had a couple of personal fouls. Why do you think we've seen that? That's a little uncharacteristic. You would think of a fifth-year senior to make some of those types of decisions he's made at times.
Yeah, the one, I think it was in the last game, was just silly. It was out of character for him. He's an extremely competitive guy, and you can't have those kind of mistakes, but I've been proud of the way he's played and his approach to the game and his maturity. So, every once in a while a guy will make a mistake, but Michael's been really solid.
Any thoughts on the 99th homecoming game for Arizona? It's gonna be-
Is it the 99th? I didn't, here we are again at Pac-12 after dark, right, 8 o'clock. But I know the weather's going to be great, and I think it's supposed to be a nice crowd, so it should be a really good atmosphere.
Coach, did you get a chance to see the new academic center yet over there?
Is it open now?
I think it opened this morning. So.
I don't know if you guys, I have not, and other than the outside, so I know it's going to be a big plus for the program. It's good.
Anything else for Coach?
How much time do you spend over there? Will you spend over there? Is that kind of in?
No, I mean, I'll go in there every once in a while just to say hello, but we have great support academically, as you would expect, but ours is over the top, and for them to have their own facility, I think speaks volumes of the importance of it. So it's going to help us in recruiting, but more importantly than that, it's going to help all the student athletes here to have a place right there close to all the facilities that they can get their academic support from. It's really neat, really neat.
Declare the major thing yesterday. Did you influence any kids to select any particular?
Oh, I never get in the middle of that. I mean, it's the same as I tell them, it's their education, not mine. I already got my degree. They got to decide what they want to do, and it's a big decision. I've got a daughter that's going through the same thing. She had to declare a major. So it's not an easy decision, and I usually tell them, if they ask for advice, I tell them to follow their passion. Whatever they think their passion may be the next 15, 20, 30 years, decide that. Because I don't know how many degree programs we got here, but we got enough to pick from. So there's plenty.
Counsel your kids and your family on how to deal with things when they're not going well. I mean, it's easy to be the child of a famous person when things are good, but not always when things maybe aren't going well. How do you counsel?
I think you approach them the same way. I think you got to be consistent in what you do and believe in yourself, the people around you, and the programs that you're in, and just keep working hard. It's not the end of the world if you hit a bump in the road or have adversity. We've all had it, and if you haven't had it, you're gonna have it at some point. So you got to just work through it and believe in the people you're with and go forward. And if you're doing the right things with the right people, good things will happen.
Okay, everybody, thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys.